Talking about DC Universe. HBO Max has a show called Titans, and we are on episode 12 of season 3. It's called Prodigal from HBO Max. 48-minute episode. After Nightwing and Red Hood's battle, Rachel and Gar try to save their friend. Meanwhile, Jason questions his allegiance with Barbara behind bars. Donna leads her own resistance operation, and Connor helps Blackfire recover her ship. If you're not confused enough by the description, you'll get confused while you watch the show. One more to go before the big season finale. Let's talk about it, Andy.
You know, you're right. There's so many different things going on at one time, and you're like, these are all going to connect and be, like, everyone's going to be together at one point, but here we are.
Here we are again. The team is still split up. Scott, let's just get it out of the way. You haven't been watching this thing, but you've been listening to us talk about it for literally now 12 episodes in a row.
Yeah. A literal Rubik's Cube. Just a lot of moving pieces here.
And never really coming back together. And I want to give the fans a little insight to you. You said you watched, season 1?
Season 1, maybe the first 2 or 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't my cup of tea. Once we get a larger catalog, I may go back and watch it. I'm really familiar with all the characters, but there was just something that wasn't hitting that spot for me.
Yeah, and you had a good point whenever we were eating pizza earlier, because that's what we had for dinner tonight. We didn't even talk about dinner, but we had Emo's local
Square Beyond Compare.
That's right. It's a classic. It's a St. Louis classic. Definitely one of the best pizzas in St. Louis.
Absolutely.
And you were saying, it's like, this is probably a good example of stream versus not stream. I'm sorry, binge.
Yeah.
Because this is, talking about this each week has just been really tough. I think you might be right. I think if you came back one day and you're like, I'm just going to blast through it, it just feels a little more cohesive. But with that, let's get into this episode called Prodigal. Where did we leave off in episode 11? Dick, Nightwing, died. Shot in the neck by a random civilian. What a lame way to die as Nightwing. You just get shot. Like, the guy shoots you once, you turn around, then he starts shooting you again. You're just kind of standing there like, my suit's real good, except for my neck. Immediately.
Just immune to the headshots, you think, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Like, put on a helmet. And this picks up right where it leaves off. You got Gar, you got Raven. They find the body, and this is where you get one of the wildest scenes of the whole episode, of the whole show, Andy.
Yeah.
Please talk to me about this. Okay, Dick's dead body. Raven's there. They're like, can you bring him back? She's like, I'll try. Black powers coming out of her. I can't do it. Can't bring him back. All of a sudden, a bunch of bats show up. This is just the middle of Gotham. A bunch of bats show up. And they're flying around Gar, Beast Boy. And they've been following him in different episodes. He's been like, what are these bats following me for? Well, then all of a sudden, he can't control it. He turns into a bat. He's Beast Boy. And he flies with these bats. They immediately get underneath Dick, and they fly him up into the air. And Raven's just watching him. And they take him really high up in the air, like 100 feet. And his body is just like flat. And it's HBO, but I'm telling you, it didn't look that great.
Mm-mm.
What were you thinking during this scene?
This was stupid as hell.
Oh my God. And you're the Batman fan. It was just dumb.
They just carried him to the Lazarus pit.
They carried him to the Lazarus pit. I was like, was it the bats? But it was Gar.
Yeah, maybe he can control them. I don't know.
And then they dump him in the Lazarus pit, and the bats are flying in circles, and Raven's like looking down like, well, this is crazy. This is crazy. And while the bats are flying, you just see one green bat every.
Yeah.
How far away was this pit?
A quarter mile.
Okay.
So, yeah, he said some part of this episode, he said that he feels like his powers are like behind a locked door, something like that.
Yeah.
Fear is the only way to get them out.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
But like, who cares? Like, just be Beast Boy and turn into animals.
Right.
Like, don't overthink it. Like, if you want to turn into a bat, turn into a bat. And he's like trying to figure it out. Anyway, they go in. Andy, we pretty much called it. It's a battle for Dick's soul. All right. He gets into let's just talk about Dick for a while. He gets into the afterlife. And who does he see there? But Jonathan Crane in a weird cave. And he's like, hey, you're a bad son. Your dad, like Mr. Grayson, he would have been so ashamed of you if he had seen you grow up to become this Batman son, killer guy. And it's basically, you need to choose. Would you rather? This is wild, right? Jason Todd's body like shows up on the ground and he's alive. He's like, what? And Dick is now dressed up in this death world as the Joker, full Joker suit with a crowbar. And he's like, what the? And all of a sudden, he just starts beating the hell out of Jason. And Jonathan Crane, it's not really Jonathan Crane, though, right? It's like the devil personified or something.
Yeah.
He's like, you can stay here and do this forever. But Dix decides, no, I'll go and I'm going to fight to be a better hero. He sees his dad in the afterlife and he's like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't live up to your expectations. And his dad's like, it's all good. And he's like, all right.
Love you.
Love you. And that's it. That's pretty much it, right? And then Dick comes back.
He saw a little girl.
Oh, yeah. What was that about?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was a young 5-year-old black girl. She's in the woods. He spots her. She comes over to him. You remember what she says? Does she say something? And he's just looking at her, right? And he's like, hey.
I don't know. I'm trying
Dude,
to find it in this recap, but I'm
show.
like,
it's all right. Whatever happens, though, he's like, okay. I guess I'm all right now. And he gets to come back, all right? He punches his way out, and he comes out of the Lazarus pit. Gar and Raven are there, and he's like, go get the Titans. We're going to do this a different way. He decides, I'm going to go get Jason Todd, and I'm going to get his help. That's like how he's changing his ways. I'm not going to go kill Jason Todd, the Red Hood. I'm going to go get him. He does. He finds him very quickly. He says, hey, listen, you and me are going to team up, and you're going to help me defeat Crane. And he's like, can I be a Titan again? He's like, no, you can't be a Titan again, but you can help me do this. And I was just like, semantics. Like, what are we doing? He tells Gar and Raven to go find Donna. Go find Donna and the rest of the Titans. How did he know Donna was alive? He didn't see her in the afterlife. He just had he had a feeling.
which one saw that?
Dick.
Dick.
Dick said to Raven and Gar, he goes, go find Donna. And they go, did he say Donna? Anyway, they do go to find first Connor Kent at the bunker. He's not there. They're like, what happened? There's kryptonite dust on the ground. They're like, what happened here? That's when Dick made Connor go to sleep. And that's pretty much all that happens with Gar and Beast Boy. You don't really see them again the rest of the episode. Let's move on over to Connor Kent, Superboy. He is with, get these names right, Corey and Blackfire. Starfire and Blackfire. And here's the whole plan. They find Starfire's ship at the old science bunker where they got her the first time around. And the whole plan is, hey, listen, if we make this fuel for you, you can get in your ship and you can go back to Tamaran. Yeah. Tamaran. You know it just probably just from the comics.
Yep.
And they're like, and she's like, okay, if I go back there, she finds out that she's like the rightful queen of this place because Corey fills her in on the childhood drama from when they were kids that we talked about in last week's episode. And she decides very quickly, even though she told Connor that we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend now, super lovers forever, she's immediately changed her mind. She's like, I'm going back to Tamaran. I'm going to be queen. And he's like, okay. She's like, but I need you to help me make the fuel. So he's making this fuel and he's like crushing it down. It's like a little miniature sun. It looks a lot like what Dr. Octavius makes Spider-Man.
Gotcha.
And he's making it and he puts it into the ship. And Blackfire's like, I can't wait to get back home and be queen. And Superboy is like, and they start up the ship and Corey's like, why isn't it working? And he looks at her and he gives her like an evil look. He's like Lex Luthor now because he's half Lex, half Superman. And he kind of gives her an evil look and the ship blows up. He sabotages the whole thing.
Nice.
What a jerk.
All right, back to my mic. This mic's really good business today. So then we got Donna Choi. She is with Tim Drake and Tim's parents. And the plan is fight off Crane's cops, paid off cops, and fight them off. And that's what they do. They go out in the street and they fight off against these cops. That's the whole episode. Is there anything else? Crane. What did Crane do? The big
he got the toxin back.
He got the toxin back that Batman stole from him all those years ago, and he's got this toxin now, right? He's like, oh, I'm finally gonna get to do this toxin plan. He also like trash talked Barbara Gordon while she was in a jail cell.
Oh yeah,
and
she told him Dick was dead.
He said Dick's dead. She cried, and then she like breaks out of prison, and she's off on her own. At the end of the episode, all the Titans are still separated. There's no further movement on the plan actually. And we have one to go. One more episode, the season finale. Andy, tell me what I missed. I mean, I really blew through that. But, man, this show, it has been a struggle.
There's a lot of Tim wanting to be the next Robin.
Again, a lot.
Just like, out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but
Donna does a good job of like calling him out. I kind of liked how they wrote that a little bit, where he's like, I just want to be Robin. And she's like, listen, I was literally born for this. Like, I have this in my genes and I still have to train every day. And you're just a kid. Like, you're just a kid in Gotham. Like, slow your roll. Like, if you want to be Robin, you really got to, like, this is like, you're in the training right now. Just like chill out, hang out. That's it.
Yeah, you got it.
Andy, tell me what you're thinking of this show. What'd you think of this episode?
I mean, a good finale can really do a lot to be a nice little bookend with the start that they had. But yeah, I think you're right. This might be a show that's better off just releasing all the episodes at once and just binge city.
Yeah.
But I don't have the mental wherewithal to let them build up. I have to know what's happening, and because I follow 4,000 superhero accounts on Instagram. Like, I'm going to see spoilers and stuff and recaps, and obviously we do the show, so I can't. There's no way we would ever let them.
You can
up.
do it.
You think so?
I do it on the daily. Like, I mean, I kind of wish, like, in hindsight, right? Like, what I'm doing with Doom Patrol right now, I'm just waiting.
Okay.
And like, I mean, there's stuff out there. I'll see a poster here and there, and I'm like, just keep going, and also be on your phone less, Andy.
It's hard.
I know, they're so addictive. They're just, I mean, Facebook right now in big trouble for keeping us all addicted to it. All right, but you're excited for the finale. You're so right. They could turn this thing around to where this is just like the first three, right? Amazing, fun. Like, is Bruce going to come back?
It's just Batman Begins with like a sort of different plot with more people.
And no Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
And not no Batman, but in the Batcave. Hanging out a lot in the Batcave.
Well,
like, Jonathan Crane has been
very
hanging out in the Batcave for 3 episodes now. Just like literally living at the house.
you think Batman's coming back? We're going to see him next episode in any capacity? We have to.
I just feel like if you don't, I guess you're making the statement that, like, this is Titans. But I'm like, if this is Titans, then you need to take this team back to San Diego and stop talking about Gotham and stop doing all these things that are directly related to Batman. One of the coolest parts of the episode that I didn't talk about, I focused on a lot of the bad. Shame on me. There's the Batcave, then there's the Bat Bunker that has more hidden weapons. And it was pretty cheesy. Like, there was the Penguin umbrellas, like in a big case. There was the Riddler cane. Like, it looked like Jim Carrey's cane. Nice. Yeah, it was kind of cool. But it was still just, like, on display, like, elevated real
Easter
high.
eggs.
Yeah, Easter eggs, but, like, in-your-face Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Anything else you saw?
Mm.
And they go there to
I think
check
that's it.
for the bombs that Jonathan Crane, Scarecrow, was looking for. Well, he beat him to it. He got him, and he's pumped about it. And he's got the cops on his payroll. The Titans are split up. Dick's back. Jason wants to be a Titan again. Starfire and Blackfire are home put. Like, they're not going anywhere. They're not flying away to Tamaran. Superboy is kind of Lex Luthor-y now. Like, what's going to happen with that whole relationship? Beast Boy is figured out how to turn into a bat, and Raven has, like, the same powers as season 1.
Make your prediction for finale. I want to hear it.
The Titans come together. They beat Crane. Batman comes back probably toward the end of the episode and is like, you guys did a good job.
I'm calling it that Red Hood's gonna. Yeah, you're right. They're all gonna obviously come together to take down Crane. But I think Batman's gonna show up. Somehow Red Hood's gonna save him, and that's gonna redeem him with the Titans, and he will be a good boy Titan next season.
Like, and he'll make a...
And it'll just be another storyline of, like, is he going to go bad? Is he going to...
Because that was Dick's lesson in the afterlife, was anybody can kind of be saved.
Yeah.
Redemption.
A story of redemption. Even whenever you've killed Hank and Dove just went to Paris. Scott, you've been listening to us talk about this thing. You haven't been watching it. Do you want to make a prediction?
Yeah. He's going to be the one that gets it right, so
Yeah.
I'd love to hear it.
Wow. More confusing stuff is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be lots of loose ends. Maybe some poor CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe Batman.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Titans season 3, episode 12. 1 to go. We will be talking about the finale. Any final thoughts?
Not at
Yeah,
all.
nothing else to say
What's
about
the
this one.
finale's name? Do I have
Oh yeah, we usually do that, don't we? Season 13. Let me guess. So it's been like Troubled Water, Souls, Prodigal. This will be
Redemption.
Good.
Let's see.
That's probably it. Or Forgiven. Or you got this, Andy.
Almost there.
You're all right. PC Mike, let's shout out to you. We miss you.
What
is it?
Please be Redemption.
Purple Rain?
Purple Rain. I'm in.
All right. I don't know.
I hope they better play the song.
Does that change anyone's predictions?
I guess that could imply that there's going to be like a rain that's going to be the antidote.
Either that or CGI Prince.
Yeah.
The only one that can save us.
I'd be fine with either.
All right, guys, that's Titan Season 3, Episode 12, 1 to go. We'll talk about the finale. Hopefully it'll bring it all home, and you can find your home for the DC Universe Review Library at mostlysuperheroes.com/DCU. Reviews, explanations, which are very much needed on this show, but also a lot of other titles in there. The Suicide Squad, the Snyder Cut, all the good stuff happening at the website, mostlysuperheroes.com. Go check it out.